G'day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to what is a fantastic day of Oceanic Overwatch action. You're watching the eLeague.gg GameStar Spring Series Division 1 Finals on GameStar TV. And huge shout out to all those people giving us the hosting love today. Now, we're going to have ZeNox and GyMar coming up for this losers bracket match, but I'm going to bring in Dr. Nutter and Genome, who are on the panel with me. Dr. Nutter, you and I had the privilege of casting that last match, but I think we're going to go into this one with just as much hype.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely huge. I think these two teams are going to really put on a massive performance. And now I'm not too sure who will win this. Originally, I was thinking Skyfire. They've been a little bit more dominant for me. They've put up great performance. But just Masterminds just then absolutely bringing it to us here. And look at the maps that come through, letting Eichenwalde through, going Kings, Eichenwalde, and Volskaya. Interesting to see Volskaya, the third map, and see what they do.
And Genome, these two teams did meet during the regular season, and I think it should be just as good a game here in the losers bracket final.
Yeah, everyone had to go against everyone else, so we saw these matchups before. I really think Masterminds is going to come in hot here. Twiggy, he really impressed me. So he's been a very, very recent pickup for Masterminds. But my God, was this guy hitting the charges? And not only that, but it wasn't just the pin targets, right? The charge does 50 damage on impact and 300 damage when you pin them to the wall. And he was just skittling the opponents from Tempo Storm, doing so much damage with there. So I was really, really impressed by him, and I think he's going to be a big factor coming into this game.
All right, we have both teams into the server now, so we're going to throw over to your commentators for this match. This is the losers bracket elimination match. One team will stay alive, one team will pack it up and go home with the cash and prizes for fourth place. It's over to ZeNox. Take it away.
Thank you very much, EJ. And I'll be joined by GyMar for this game, Skyfire versus Masterminds GC here in the losers bracket. And GyMar, as EJ alluded to, the loser of this one is out already.
Yeah, so it's a must-win for both these teams, and such quality teams they are, as we have seen in the past two games. You got to worry for Skyfire, though, coming up against Masterminds on this hot form, it's going to be tough.
Just waiting for the ready-up checks before we head into the game. So both teams, of course, losing in 2-1 over the best-of-3 series in that first round. Very, very close games that could have gone either way. Ironically, GyMar, we could have been looking at these two teams in the winners bracket.
Yeah, that is definitely true. And it's definitely going to be interesting because it's an odd map draft, I would say. Kings Row into Eichenwalde into Volskaya. I mean, Kings Row is very standard, and into this map you'd expect both these teams to come out swinging, but for the next two things could be interesting.
Obviously, as you said, yeah, the next two maps are probably more interesting than the Kings Row, but Kings Row in itself could go either way. I do feel possibly Skyfire might have a little bit of an advantage on this map over Masterminds. They got banned out from Masterminds against Tempo Storm, so maybe they don't feel as comfortable on it.
Yeah, and Skyfire, we've seen them do good work on Kings Row previously, and they generally do. Especially, that some of that high ground soldier play from Soundwaves has generally worked quite well on this map. And coming up against that, Masterminds will need some pretty aggressive play, but we've seen that they have the potential to take these points on the first fight, which is kind of what you need to do on Kings Row to get the maximum in the time back. Because it can be really tough, if you don't have that snowball going, that last third can be pretty tough.
We're seeing Render here on the D.Va, and more this flex role is actually becoming a flex role rather than a Zarya role. So interesting to see that D.Va coming out, but Degs was actually Aaron was actually on the Bastion for a second. I have actually seen Masterminds run the attack Bastion here as they push through the hotel, then come up on site onto the balcony and hide behind that Bastion. The Bastion hides behind the Reinhardt shield. Not going to happen this time around, though. Fairly standard composition coming out for Masterminds. They're going to push straight onto the statue. In fact, the Skyfire going to have to defend vigorously. That shield of Hikari's up, but Twiggy is just already moving on forward. The Bionic Grenade lands from Iron. They take down Hikari. That is as quick as you would like coming out from Masterminds. Degs with a double kill in the backline. They're going to make sure they actually cap the point, have one person on it. But, geez, GyMar, that was super quick and taking the confidence from the Tempo Storm game right into this one.
Yeah, and Skyfire just kind of sat there waiting for Masterminds to take them out, didn't they? They just kind of sat there, getting the damage negation using the defense matrix and Reinhardt's shield, but no real offensive presence. And we've seen that you've got to be aggressive if you want to win in Overwatch, and you've got to be aggressive at the right times. So Skyfire really not showing up yet, but still no ults. Remember, we do have the longer charge times.
Yeah, the longer charge times are going to come into effect, obviously, with the new patches. Now, Skyfire try and turn it back onto Masterminds, but Masterminds are having none of it. There's the nano boost onto Twiggy, swinging that hammer, trying to take down Render, who will fly away, but Stoltz was able to take down Hikari. They did lose Twiggy for that, but Jordan getting the kill on the CKM should be able to confirm a win here for Masterminds if they can keep this collapse going in their favor. But Soundwaves takes down Stoltz. That's what you want to see for Skyfire. Degs was able to finish off the little Korean girl, Render, but Degs is not done yet, taking down Soundwaves as this payload is moving on through the street space.
What worries me about Soundwave's late death there is I'm not sure if he'll be able to get back for this recontest, which will likely happen, but they're not going to have the full team, so Skyfire's really going to have to do work, but making use of that sprint, Soundwaves may actually be there on time, so this next fight could be huge with a lot of ults on both sides.
Yeah, a lot of ultimates for both sides coming out right now. Masterminds need to win this fight, or they could be looking to lose all the momentum. And what a way to start, Degs! Can we get some bomb champs in chat for Degs? Soundwaves takes down Stoltz, but it's looking like Masterminds, but CKM takes down Bim. Jordan trying to turn it back into Masterminds' favor with some help from Degs, who took down Soundwaves. Finally, it's all Degs. It's the Degs show, and it's Masterminds taking the second point. 5 minutes and 43 seconds on the ZeNox scoreboard. They are off to a hot start here on Kings Road.
They definitely are, and this is where Skyfire are really in trouble. They used a number of ults, I think it was 2, just to defend that unsuccessfully. They are going to have the ultimate advantage in this last third, but they're going to have to use their ults very well if they want to hold for this whole 5 minutes 20.
Yeah, Twiggy's got that Earth Shadow as well, so he's looking to be very aggressive right now. Soundwaves was in a bad position, had to get down from that area, but what an Earth Shadow! Oh my goodness, it's an absolute obliteration! That is the perfect combination of an Earth Shadow, Death Blossom, and that is going to be Masterminds having to regroup.
And I talked about using ultimates effectively, and that is how you do it. 6-man Earth Shatters, you don't see them too often, but they are powerful when you do. And the combination, they were so ready for that. CKM was sitting on that high ground, and they've still got 2 ults for this next fight.
In saying that though, 4 ultimates, 4 Masterminds. There comes the self-destruct. Are they going to be able to shield it? Twiggy, nice placement of his shield, stops that. Stoltz takes down Render as he was out of the mech. Now gets the double kill on the Soundwaves as well. Masterminds continue to push on through. There's not one team fight is going to be able to stop them here. Degs takes down Hikari. It was a great ult from the Earthshadow Blossom combo for Skyfire before, but it hasn't stopped the momentum of Masterminds. They continue to push on through, and they look like they might be able to cap uncontested. Soundwaves comes back, the Bionic Grenade stops in. Now it's actually Cantus coming back as well as Hikari, but it's not going to be enough. Masterminds are pushing on through. Stall phase activated and stall phase deactivated. 4 minutes and 9 seconds on the ZeNox scoreboard. Masterminds clinical with their execution.
Yeah, and that's exactly why they almost took the series away from Tempo Storm, and now it looks like they might be able to take Skyfire on in a very big way. 4 minutes and 9 seconds in the time bank. It almost doesn't matter how fast Skyfire can push, because I highly doubt they can match that time.
Well, you never know. Anything can happen with what we've seen so far today, GyMar, between the 4 teams. They've all been so close, so even. And at times, you know, when Masterminds had a very good start on Gibraltar against Tempo Storm, then Tempo Storm did it right back to them, and then the overtime. So anything can happen after today. I would not be surprised if Skyfire did the exact same thing.
Yeah, and we've seen that sometimes a bigger time bank doesn't always guarantee anything. And so both teams will really have to keep their A game. And that's what we've seen in this finals. No team can be complacent, because every single team here has the ability to win it.
As we're waiting now for Skyfire to come out of the gate, I am seeing a little short Swedish guy. His name is Torbjorn, and he is on the defense for Masterminds. And it's no troll, because they are already at the point here. Degs, that's an interesting choice, GyMar.
An interesting choice indeed, but it's one which will catch Skyfire off guard. I mean, who expects to walk into King's Row and find a Torbjorn? So what he's going to try and do is keep hidden. But now, because of the changes to Torbjorn, I believe he might actually be able to throw an armor pack before the game starts, which could be very pivotal, as those armor packs make a huge difference. And if they can win that first fight, the scrap he gets will allow him to armor pack a lot of his team.
Very interesting position as well with his turret. It looks like it's set up to be behind Twiggy's shield to provide extra fire there. It will be interesting to see, I guess, with Soundwaves actually on the Widowmaker. If he gets a pick, this could be very bad for Masterminds, that they might not have the damage capable of holding off this push. Hikari already with that shield around near the statue. Soundwaves is poking around. CKM getting a kill on the Jordan. There goes the turret as well. This is not looking good for Masterminds. The Torbjorn strat is not looking like it's going to work. The Bionic Raid onto Twiggy. He goes down as quick as butter through knife through butter, and Soundwaves is going to finish off. And it has not worked at all, GyMar. It is being completely obliterated. Soundwaves providing the difference here with a lot of kills, and CKM, they are just pushing on through. There's nothing that little Swedish guy could do.
Yeah, this double hit scan with the double damage negation, and that's what Skyfire is running. They're running the Reinhardt and the Diva, which meant that turret wasn't actually able to do anything, and then when Jordan fell, you had to expect it to steamroll quite quickly. And now Cantus already has the nano boost, and we've seen Cantus a brilliant Ana, and if he gets that nano boost onto the right person, it could make a huge difference. But maybe he'll wait for CKM to charge up that tactical visor, as that has been a powerful combo.
Deg's back onto the Genji now, and what he is very good at is that Genji, so it should be interesting to see how Skyfire can handle that. But Skyfire got all of the momentum now, heading into this street phase, so much time in the bank, and Twiggy's now going to push up forward here, does swing that hammer, puts the shield up. It's going to be the nano boost though onto Hikari. The charge will miss, and now he starts to swing into the back line, takes down Aaron. But while that's all happening, Degs and Twiggy both got a kill. 4 Masterminds in the back line of Skyfire, and now they all sort of collude back onto the payload. Degs taking down Taken, and Twiggy is going to win that war with Hikari, but Render still alive and getting damage done.
Yeah, not only that, they were not able to take down Soundwaves, which means that as CKM comes in, actually Skyfire is going to have control of the point, and they're going to be able to push that, though there will be a recontest. But Skyfire have the potential, but up against the 3 or 4 ults they're up against, it's really going to come down to execution, because both teams with ults, they need to use them effectively or they could be in real trouble.
Yeah, Masterminds are going to want to force the fight here to give the long walk back for Skyfire. The self-destruct in the backline, Twiggy has to turn that shield. The Earth Shadow is going to pave way now for Hikari as well. Render takes down Bim, but it's now Degs going off. Can he get any more kills? He's got a double kill to his name. Degs is still doing it. He's now trying to battle Soundwaves in a 1v1 battle, and it looks like the Widowmaker! Soundwaves takes down Degs in the 1v1 duel, but it is still a big, heavy loss of casualties for Skyfire, and that payload is stalled.
Yeah, and great usage of ults coming out of Masterminds, using the Dragon Blade with the Nano Boost Tactical Visor, but now none of those will be available.
Yeah, the Graviton Surge now coming out. The great Bionic Grenade there from Aaron. He went past the shield, then laid it down, but there's not much damage following up. Jordan was able to kill Cantus, but Soundwaves is still being pesky, kicking off kills left, right, and center. Degs is back to join the action now. Skyfire, as they take down Twiggy. Render is just absolutely shuddering Aaron, and now Skyfire will be able to get this second point after some delay from Mastermind's defense. And it is finally going to push on through. Masterminds will have to defend the final stage here. They should very likely go where they have a better time bank.
Yeah, and Masterminds have done a great job on this defense, delaying for just the right amount of time and pulling out with some ultimates available. That means they're going to have the ultimate advantage into this last third, which can be tricky for the attackers to push, especially if the defenders have ultimates.
Pushing on forward now, the aggressive Masterminds are going to break it down and push on, but Skyfire having none of it. The Bionic Grenade will go over the shield, but not land at all. So some missed opportunities there from Masterminds, and Skyfire could really punish them here. The shield war is going the way of Skyfire. Hikari charge with the nano boost. He's doing so much damage, now getting healed as well. He is a wrecking ball pushing on through for Team Skyfire.
Yeah, and a nice, smart use of the Biotic Grenade from Cantus as well, meaning that Hikari was able to be healed up significantly. And now into this last stall phase, this is going to be tough because both teams have the ults, but these offensive ults could make it hard to stall.
The ults are going to go now from both teams over this final checkpoint. fight. Stoltz has taken so much damage. That Nanoboost tactical visor really got nothing out of it. Render's right in his face as Twiggy took down CKM. Degs was able to finish off Soundwaves, but it's all Hikari still getting those kills until Degs saves the day. The self-destruct, will it be able to land? No, yes it will. It's a double kill from the self-destruct. Render getting the job done there on the point, but we are down to 3 minutes and 9 seconds, so the time bank favor will go the way of Mastermind if they can't hold out here. Regardless, Bim Stold still on this payload, getting the job done of stalling. Twiggy is now back on Diva. Jordan jumping back in the action as well, and that is still a lot of time being wasted here by Masterminds, but finally it is capped at 2 minutes and 52 seconds on the ZeNox scoreboard. Time advantage to Masterminds, but GyMar, I said anything can happen, and it happened.
Yeah, that is plenty of time in the bank for Skyfire. And the funny thing is, if Masterminds hadn't had such a great time, I would actually be saying that Skyfire had just set an amazing time, but with that 4 minutes in the hands of Masterminds, it doesn't look so amazing.
Doesn't look so amazing anymore, but realistically, they can pick themselves up and regroup, and I'm sure we're not going to see the Torbjorn come out this time around for Masterminds. GyMar, I guess the strategy behind that, it didn't work at all. Why is that?
I think largely because we're seeing this Diva in play. If that had been up against a Reinhardt Zarya, or even a Monkey Zarya, it would have made a big difference, but there was just too much damage negation on the side of Skyfire, and you're not often seeing that Reinhardt Diva, so it was, I guess, a bit of a surprise to them, but they should have seen it actually in that first half, as that's been what Skyfire's been playing all of King's Row.
So Masterminds will be defending once again, back-to-back defense jobs. Soundwave's still on that Widowmaker though. He's been causing so many problems and they just can't deal with him. Even Degs on the Genji, he even lost a 1v1 to him. How can they stop him?
I think the trick is to just try and isolate him, maybe using their own Diva. Get him out of the fight so that he can't get those picks, because if a Widowmaker doesn't get any picks, it's a wasted choice of hero.
Well, Soundwaves has chopped off the Widowmaker, now onto the Reaper, changing things up. Dex got hit by that Bionic Grenade, will have to wait to join the fight. And now it's going to be the charging Hikari again. He has been winning those charge walls so far. Twiggy goes down, CKM up onto the top balcony, raining terror from above on that soldier. And now Skyfire continue to push on through after that pick of Twiggy. Masterminds are running. They are absolutely running away from this point. They can't do anything. They've got no answer for this aggressive push from Skyfire, and it's going to be an easy point. This game is just turning on its head, left, right, and center, GyMar. Anything can happen.
Yeah, anything can happen, indeed. Right as Masterminds come back in, but will it be enough?
And Hikari is extremely low. He's getting healed up, though. There was no damage to finish him off. Soundwaves with the double kill. Now the self-destruct to get Masterminds off the point. It does pick off Aaron, and that will be all she wrote. The point is captured. 1 minute and 45 seconds to push on through this Streets phase. And they better make all full use of it if they can. And I guess for Mastermind's sake, they're going to want to make sure that at least Skyfire can't get this second point hold.
Yeah, and that's going to be tricky because a minute 30 does actually allow Skyfire to die a few times. We've seen the power of an overtime push, but time in the bank is what allows you to just have a reset without having to worry about always being on the cart. And so they want to get that time down with as little push as possible, and they have some ults to stop them.
And it's going to be Twiggy with the Nano Boost going in, pops the Earth Shatter, but it doesn't actually land. It's a wasted Earth Shatter from Twiggy. CKM with a double kill. Missed opportunities again for Masterminds. They are the ones shooting themselves in the foot right now, and it is a team wipe, team kill in favor of Team Skyfire, and they should just about be able to get to this second point, although I do believe Masterminds might just get back in time to contest it.
Yeah, there was a huge flaw in Mastermind's game plan. That was they completely ignored the nano-boosted tactical visor of CKM. You cannot ignore that in this current meta because it will rip your team apart, and now they do get the replay.
And they're going to be forcing the fight again, breaking that sound barrier down. It's going to be the Genji ult as well from Dag, slicing and dicing in the backline. Can he get any kills? He does finally onto Kentis, but Render and Hikari are doing work in the front line for Skyfire. Hikari getting a double kill. It has been the Hikari show now, and it is also the second point for Team Skyfire, and they're going to be pushing all the way. A bit of deja vu right now for Masterminds, considering what Tempo Storm did to them on Gibraltar.
Yeah, and they've got to start feeling the pressure now because they need to win a fight. That said though, one team wipe and this overtime will end. So they don't have to worry too much, but they got to stop them because they only have 4 minutes for their respective push, and you don't want that full map cap.
The only ult available right now is the self-destruct of Render. Twiggy now just getting the Earth Shatter. Can he use it to get them off the point? Render's asleep actually right now. Should be able to pop off this self-destruct if he so wishes. Aaron gets the kill on the Soundwaves as well. All the fight happening on top of this payload. Render waiting until the last second to pop that self-destruct. Will he be able to get any kills? No, he won't. In fact, and now it is going to be Jordan and Aaron still trying to deal with Render, but now the rest of his teammates coming back. Hikari, CKM, Skyfire continue to push on through.
Now we're seeing the power of that Diva pick. The stalling ability is just great, allowing his team to come back, and now Hikari's got that nano boost. He should be able to get some work done.
Double kill for Stoltz, and Aaron is ever so close to that nano boost at 97%, but the Earth Shatter from Hikari, he continues to be a pain in the backside for Masterminds GC, and in this overtime, they continue to push on through. Stoltz has gone down to Candace, they've lost Bim to Soundwaves as now, and we're in the final slope, only so close to this final check hold. Twiggy is back, Aaron has got the nano boost, he will give it over to Twiggy now to swing that hammer to just try and get them off the point. Soundwaves gets slapped and killed, and it's going to be a final. Now, CKM just continue to stay on the point. I thought no one was on it. Hikari goes down. Render, Kansas, only one's alive for Skyfire, and looking like surely Mastermind should be able to hold on.
Yeah, but holding on maybe a little bit too late as Render just continues to stall it out. But that will be the end, but that's a lot of push that Skyfire have been able to do with a smaller time bank.
And it is a much smaller time bank going into that, but in the end, they've had an incredible push. Last time we saw this, of course, was with Masterminds versus Tempo Storm on Gibraltar, and Masterminds, even though got fully capped in overtime by Tempo Storm, they still came back with their own really good push. So you wonder if these two teams, GyMar, are just extremely well aggressed at pushing the cart and maybe not as good at defending it.
That may well be the case, and that's just because it is actually quite hard on defense having to cycle the ultimates properly. And now coming into this next fight, 4 minutes and 9 seconds, well, that is half of the maximum time, so theoretically they should be able to do a full cap, but Skyfire may not let them.
Well, Masterminds are going to have to pull something out of the hat here. 4 minutes and 9 seconds is a decent amount of time. Of course, you're still going to get this first point rather quick. We saw how quickly that Skyfire did it, but also how quickly that Masterminds did it their first go around as well. It was literally one push in, capture for both teams. Masterminds, if they don't get that first point capture really quickly off, say the first 1 or 2 pushes, GyMar, they might feel like the momentum is all but gone.
Yeah, and that could be the case. This first point can be tough to get, but what we've seen is teams regularly taking it very early in the first or second push, and so I think Masterminds don't have too much to worry about in this first fight, but they have to get it early, and aggression is how you do that. If they play back a little bit, they could be in trouble.
Around a statue side, Twiggy putting that shield up, but Skyfire right in their face, not letting them push onto the point. Looking for a pick now. Masterminds are going to need to get a pick if they want to push on through. Degs coming through the hotel room now, but what a bionic grenade from Aaron. They've got to be able to capitalize on this. CKM is so low, but he takes down Degs. Degs couldn't finish off the soldier. Jordan gets the kill onto Candace, but Skyfire continuing to get a pick here and there. Soundwave's taking down Twiggy, and then the kill onto Jordan. The tanks are down for Masterminds. Only Stoltz, Bim, and Aaron alive on the point in this 3v3 fight. Soundwaves is extremely low, but he will be able to race away. Can he get any heals though? Bim and Degs is back to finish off the kill onto Soundwaves, but now slowly coming back in. CKM and the rest of Skyfire. This is a bit of a brawl.
Yeah, and the closest spawn for Masterminds making a big difference, but Skyfire is now back. They should be able to fight this, and they may actually have enough people.
Well, this has got to be a big fight. They lose this, and all the momentum is all but gone. It's going to be the nano boost onto Hikari, but Dag's doing so much work. The Earth Shatter from Hikari does land, but no follow-up damage from Skyfire, and all of this is now Masterminds' point. They are taking this one, and a couple of wasted ults for Skyfire could come back to haunt them during the streets phase.
They could definitely come back to haunt them, because Masterminds will have 5 ultimates for the second phase of the map up against the 2 of Skyfire at the moment, and so they really need to get those ults out of the picture. They don't have to worry too much though, because Skyfire got so much distance on their push. There is a bit of pressure off, but they cannot let Mastermind snowball, because snowballing is how you get those fast times. which Masterminds have already shown that they can do.
They are pushing on through. Masterminds into this streets phase. They've got the majority of their ultimates available. There's one of them, the Graviton Surge. It will get countered a little bit by the sound barrier taken, but Twiggy does not care one bit. He gets a double kill. Now Dex is not done getting a kill on the CKM as well. All of this is happening onto the payload. Taken is now the last one alive. He gets taken down. And with 1 minute and 45 seconds, Mastermind push on through, and we'll probably see very similar a fight on this second point.
Yeah, but they did manage to bait out some of Mastermind's ults, which they need to do. What they've really got to worry about is both of Mastermind's DPS ults are available, including the Nano Boost Tactical Visor, which is such a powerful combo, and Dex is just hiding up there waiting, you know.
Well, here comes the second point fight. If Masterminds were to lose this, it would be very detrimental, but Dex goes ham! He's got 2 in the back with that Nano Blade, now 3! It's a triple kill for Dex, getting the job done for his team. Degs, PogChamps, let's go for Degs. It's the second point for Masterminds.
And Diggs knew exactly where to be for that fight. He was just on that high ground, knowing that CKM would come out with that tactical visor and shut him down straight away. And that's not wasted for Skyfire, which they cannot afford. But there is only one up for Masterminds, and so this is Skyfire's opportunity. They need to win this fight.
They've got 40 seconds left to get it to pretty much the third point straight away. As Twiggy gets the charge onto Hikari, the Earthshatter comes out. Soundwaves with the Death Blossom into the back line, gets the double kill, make it a triple kill. Twiggy, the last man alive, will fall down. Good news though, I guess, for Masterminds is that was a lot of ults, and they've still got 20 seconds to push this payload. So their time bank allowed them to at least have that sort of fight go the way of Skyfire.
Yeah, and they will get one more fight, but up against Cantus, Nano Boost, they have to be a little bit worried. If they can shut down Cantus quickly before he can Nano Boost, this could be it, but that's not.
Nano Boost comes out onto Hikari, but the sleep does land. They're going to be able to follow up on this Dex into the backline onto CKM as well as Cantus. We are into overtime. The Earth Shatters, all the ultimates are now very important, and it lands. It kills Hikari, Stoltz with the follow-up damage. Dex takes down Soundwaves. This fight is ever so important now, but even then, they're still going to push it so far. Another 40 meters or so. Bim takes down Render, and we could be looking at a comeback considering GyMar. Look at the ults for Masterminds.
Yeah, we could be indeed. But the delaying is going to come out. Now there is enough distance to push that Skyfire can regroup and come in as a team.
2 ultimates available, make that 3 now for Skyfire as well, but the Graviton Surge comes out. Degs 1, then 2, the Earthshatter from Hikari, but it's a triple kill for Degs. The self-destruct does come out from Render, but is it going to be enough? Hikari's gone down, the payload is moving, Soundwaves gets booped away, 2.29 meters, the Wraith form to stay alive, but he goes down. Masterminds, are they going to get it done? Got it! So close, the stall from CKM at the end almost got them back into that one, but Masterminds take it out. No deja vu for them this time, GyMar.
Such strong play from Masterminds, and you've got to give Dex the credit for that. He has consistently done so much work for Masterminds, and without him, they would have had a lot of trouble with that last push.
Well, I hope the analyst desk is ready to analyze that game. It was amazing, living up to the hype of all the games we've had today. EJ is your lead analyst for this one to take you through with the panel.
Holy dooly panelists, Genome, Dr. Nutter, what a finish we had there to our opening match here in the losers brackets. I'll start with you, Genome. And we saw a Torbjorn on defense. We saw a lot of other things. Break it down.
Yeah, the Torb pick didn't quite work out, did it? It felt like they were just trying a little something from the new meta, but the Reinhardt dropped his shield, tried to fire strike it, and in that second, they just carved up the Torb turret, and that was pretty much all the Torb could do for that one, unfortunately. One of the coolest things I saw in that game was Skyfire execute an Earthshatter self-destruct combo, where they threw the self-destruct behind the team. It forced the Ryan to turn around, his shield to turn around, and in that second, Hikari came in and put down a huge Earthshatter, which allowed them to win a fight. That was really cool to see. But I think overall, it was just, yeah, look, Degs, he's playing amazing game on the Genji and the other heroes. CKM, I feel like he's gone a little bit missing today. He's a bit of a hot and cold character from what I've seen over the last couple of weeks. Some days he just goes massive, especially with his Pharaoh and payload maps, but today hasn't quite shown up as much. Now we are going to be moving on to Eichenwalde next. It's a fantastic map for Farah, so maybe CKM can get something a bit more impact on this map.
Dr. Nutter, who were the standouts in that first map there on Kings Row for you?
For me, it was the tanks. Hikari and Twiggy both are absolutely huge for their respective teams. And like Genome pointed out, that combo with the Diva ult, putting it behind the lines, the Rhino either has to face his shield towards his opponent and get killed by the Diva ult, or just turn around and get hit by Hikari. And they executed that so well. And as well as Twiggy getting some huge Earth Shatters. A few of the times, some Earth Shatters weren't followed up with a lot of damage, but they were always landing them. And just the rest of their players doing so well around those tanks. And as it feels right now, it still feels really even. These two teams are super close, and it can go either way here.
It can indeed. We'll throw back to your commentators for the second map. We are going to go on to Eichenwalde. It's over to ZeNox.
Thank you very much, EJ and crew, for breaking down that game. We are heading into Eichenwalde now, GyMar, to, I guess, almost decide, can Masterminds take a 2-0 here and send Skyfire packing?
Yeah, well, that is the question, and it's going to be hard. We've seen that both these teams are already very well matched, and we saw that especially on Kings Row. I mean, it couldn't have gotten any closer than it did. And now coming into Eichenwalde, a bit of a wildcard map in some ways, because a lot of teams still aren't playing it as much as they are the vanilla maps, and so it could be definitely interesting to see which of these teams has actually practiced the map more.
Well, in the Div 2 finals, GyMar, we had pretty much all 2-0s. So far in Division 1, it's been all 2-1s. Does that give you maybe a bit of superstition for Skyfire to possibly take this one out and force the third game again?
With how close these teams are, a 2-0 scoreline would not be representative. So I hope that the scoreline is a 2-1, whichever way it goes. And I think Skyfire definitely have the potential to take Eichenwalde, but they will have to do some nice play. And bringing out the Symmetra is an interesting way to do that.
If this game does end in a Skyfire win, we will be going to the third map, which will be Volskaya Industries. Very interesting decision there from the teams to let a 2CP get through. In the Australian scene, definitely not a game mode that is well received.
Yeah, and interestingly, Volskaya, if I remember correctly, was actually the map where Masterminds bet Tempo Storm back in the league play. And so it is a map which Masterminds are comfortable on, and that may work to their favour if we do go to a third map.
Well, of course, that's if we do indeed go to the third map. Masterminds looking to close this series out here in the losers bracket of the GameStar Division 1 EGSS Finals. Of course, the winners bracket so far has got Tempo Storm and Aftermind in there. The loser here will be out of the tournament, and the winner will be facing the loser of the two winners. So interesting matchups to come, as it is going to be the boys from Masterminds pushing on through here on Eichenwalde to kick things off, GyMar. And it is a very interesting strategy. Everyone's just sort of running around in circles right now. Render takes down Stoltz, though. The mischarge from Hikari will get him back into a good position, though. Degs was able to take down CKM in the Battle of the Farahs, but Render's doing so much work on that Diva.
Yeah, and Degs is trying his best, and it's working out very well for him. But Farah just taking a little bit too long to get those kills, but not a whole lot of Skyfire players left standing, so this is a real opportunity for Masterminds to come in.
3 minutes and 8 seconds on the Zowie scoreboard for Masterminds to push on through. They are all grouped up and ever so close to this point, and what a pick. That's a good way to start by taking down Render, but the charge from Hikari is pinpoint perfect once again. Has been doing it all day, but it is still Masterminds. Degs, Jordan getting kills on this point, but the revive comes out indeed. It comes after a little while. Degs takes down CKM. Soundwave's trying to turn it around though, and now it's Aaron with his revive to get Masterminds back into this one. Degs takes down Soundwaves after he had done so much damage to his teammates, as now it is surely Masterminds being able to take this one. Render by himself can't contest.
Yeah, and Degs just seems to have a lock-on rockets to CKM. Every time CKM appears in the fight, there's just mid-air hits from Degs to take him out very quickly. And that's got to be worrying for CKM. CKM, as has been mentioned, is an avid Farah player, but he's really struggling.
Just a big shout out to Bobby J, who's in the Twitch chat, one of the best casters in the scene. Make sure you hit him up on Twitter. It's a shame he couldn't be here today, but such is life. 4 minutes and 30 seconds on the Zowie scoreboard. Mastermind showing their true potential. Skyfire need to regroup, and there's no better way to regroup but here on the castle.
Yeah, and keeping this high ground is really important. It'll be interesting to see what strategy we see from Masterminds, but instead we're going to see Skyfire jump down.
Dex with that rocket barrage now into the Graviton combo, but it's going to get soaked up by Render. Great work from the defense matrix of Render. Twiggy trying to turn things back into their favor of Masterminds, though, taking down Hikari. Jordan was able to kill Cantus. Now Stoltz, it's still Masterminds, even after the soak from Render. They're still getting this payload to go in their favor.
Yeah, and both the tanks making such a difference there. If we saw that shield from Jordan making the difference between Diggs falling and Diggs not falling, which allows Diggs to just rule these guys once again, and that's going to make it hard to get set up on the castle because you're going to have to take fire from above. But coming into this next fight, Skyfire once again gets the opportunity to jump down, and Stoltz is dead.
And Soundworm's taking down Stoltz, as you called it. Now CKM's turn, but he gets taken down by Jordan after that rocket barrage. Did kill Bim, though, and now the revive Aaron from nowhere. The Earth Shatter from Hikari, though, to bring them back down to Earth, and all the kills still go on the way of Team Skyfire. There's not a whole lot, but Taken popping the sound barrier. I'm not sure why he decided to do that one, guys.
Yeah, a bit of a strange decision, but they still do have 3 ultimates. One interesting thing we saw in the last fight is Hikari actually stunned Diggs while he was flying through the air, and Diggs ended up falling to his doom while he was stunned. So Skyfire now taking a good opportunity to defend. They're rotating through their ultimates, and they should have the ultimates for the next fight, and Masterminds will want to bait some out.
And they will want to bait out some of those ultimates themselves. Coming up now through the castle area, look at the 2 pharmacy combos battling it out in the sky. Dags and Aaron with CKM and Cantus, but it's Twiggy and Hikari. Combinations everywhere, combining now. The Graviton Surge right on top. There's going to be no revive from Cantus. Yes, there is! He gets it off in time before dying. The self-destruct comes out as well on top, but it is looking like Masterminds could be able to take this one out. Dags and Aaron still floating around. CKM is by himself. He's lost his partner.
Yeah, and Soundwave is just avoiding the rocket barrage of Diggs and actually able to take him down. That's going to be a huge boon for them, as it does look like Skyfire is actually going to have the numbers to hold here.
Looks like they will be able to hold for now. Down to 2 minutes on the Zowie scoreboard for Masterminds' push. They will want to at least get that second point, because Eichenwalde is a bit of a tricky one. You don't necessarily need to always capture all 3 points, GyMar. Sometimes just even getting that second point and getting inside of the final stage is enough.
Yeah, and that second point can be tough to crack. We often see full delay strategies coming out when it gets near those gates. So Masterminds are still quite a way away, but they need to win this fight. And they have managed to get rid of the ultimates of Skyfire, so they do have an opportunity.
Yeah, down to 1:25. The rocket barrage comes out, though, from CKM. Dex takes him down immediately, so CKM's rocket barrage is down and out. Cantus has got the revive available now, though, for ultimates. Now, but Cantus dies to Dex. That's a massive pick off, giving Mastermind a chance to push on through with these kills and not have to worry about the revive coming out. But Hikari's not done. Gets the kill on the Jordan. It's going to be the revive from Aaron, though, for Masterminds. But again, the Earth Shatter waiting for the revive to come out. The sound barrier from Taken, and it is still all going the way of Team Skyfire with this defensive hold.
Yeah, Curry's Earth Shatters have been on point all series, and they've really saved the second checkpoint, as that's 2 revives in a row where the Earth Shatter has come out. And now, once again, there are ults available on the side of Skyfire for this next fight, but the Graviton Surge from Jordan could make all the difference, especially with Diggs almost at that rocket barrage.
Mastermind's running into a brick wall. Have they got the damage to bring this out? Where's Cantus? Where is he going to fly in from? Left, right, center, up, thumb, down. He's going to fly in. There it is. Cantus with the revive. They haven't got anything, or maybe they do. It is the Earth Shatter from Twiggy, but it gets blocked from Hikari. The damage still coming out, though, for Masterminds, irregardless of that failed ultimate. And it is finally going to be clean up time for Masterminds GC. Render the last person alive. He will fall down, but it is going to be that second point stall now coming out from Skyfire. They have got back in time.
Yeah, Render did a great job of just stalling out the payload as long as possible, and look how many Skyfire members are ready for this delay.
This delay already overtime. Bim has to stay onto the point. Stoltz taking down CKM is a good start. Cantus, of course, does not have his revive. He used it in the fight. Twiggy taking him down anyway, so irregardless of that, Bim gets the kill to Hikari, and it is all now going the way of Masterminds and the GC. Soundwave's the last man there, as well as Render. Render's being a bit of a pest. He can survive very long on that D.Va.
Yeah, but it does look like he will fall, so we will get to see this last third of the map. But capping in overtime means only a minute 30 to push it out, and that's not a whole lot of time, as this is very close quarters, and it is easy for ults to do a lot of damage.
I guess a bit of a blessing now for Masterminds getting to that second point. It didn't look like they were even going to get here. Now they at least get the payload inside of this castle and have a crack at getting all 3 points into their bank. Hikari's ready with that Earth Shatter. There it is straight away. The shield came down from Twiggy, and they've got to be able to take him down. Yes, they do. The charge combination will finish him off, but Aaron is being sneaky. He's waiting, flies in. There's the 4-man or 5-man revive. The self-destruct comes immediately out, takes down Jordan. Twiggy was able to save most of it. Now it's Cantus with his revive. So it's one revive, then the other. CKM with a double kill. Skyfire played that to perfection in the end, and they take that fight out with 40 seconds on the Zari scoreboard.
Potentially an unnecessary revive, though. I think he only got one member of his team, and that means that it's not going to be available in the next fight, which means they will be at equal on ultimates, perhaps even at a disadvantage now with Jordan getting his Graviton Surge, and that's not a good sign for Skyfire.
Yeah, down to the last fight, realistically breaking it down will be Bim, as well as taking CKM with that Rocket Barrage. Doesn't get too many, only Jordan, but it's a big one. Hikari was able to finish off Aaron as well, and now it's the battle of the Reinhardts. Twiggy, can he turn it into his favor? The charge works, and with a bit of help from Stolz, takes down the big German man, the machine himself. And speaking of machines, Render still on to this point. They cannot take him down, and it's finally going to get him out of that mech, and they should be able to push a little bit further.
Yeah, and that push will be key. But over time, Skyfire have been charging their ultimates for this last contest. They knew it would be needed, and so they're going to have 2 for this next fight, and they're going to have to use them well, but included is the Hikari Earth Shatter.
Twiggy does have the Earth Shatter if he can survive, but I don't see him surviving too much longer. He gets it off though! It's a 3-4-man Earth Shatter! Have they got the damage though to go into their favor? Stolz with a double kill, but it's the revive coming out now from Cantus. Can they turn this back around? Aaron is on the Ana, so there's no revive for Masterminds at the moment, and they're off the point, even though Bim is actually skating on it right now. But the overtime has been in effect for a little while, GyMar, so even the slightest off step and it was going to go down.
Yeah, that overtime can get brutal towards the end there. I think it's about half a second you get, and if you're off the point, that is that. So great job by Skyfire to stop the full cap out, but this isn't an easy map to push, and Skyfire is really going to need to bring their A game if they want to beat that distance.
It's a decent distance, you know, getting it not only just inside the castle in the final stage, but also very close to the actual final checkpoint regardless. So I guess for Mastermind's sake, if they're going to stop them, at least they've got the whole map to sort of play with. And this first point can still be very difficult to push through and capture. So looking at Masterminds to at least try and stall out this first point as long as they can, really.
Yeah, if they can hold the first point for 3 or 4 fights, that could potentially be enough. And we saw Masterminds have trouble taking the point in their attack. And that is a great... The first point is such a great chance to just whittle down that time. But Skyfire, we've seen that they can do strong pushes, and once again it looks like this is going to be a close one.
No interesting decisions from Masterminds. No Torbjorn this time, GyMar, coming out in the end, but also no Mei. We've been seeing a little bit less Mei since the last patch. Any reason why? I know obviously she did get, I think her nerf was on her ultimate charge.
Yeah, and also I think the return of Soldier to the meta means that the engagement distances are slightly longer, which disadvantages Mei as she can't get those freezes going. But the ultimate charge is a huge one, as those ultimates were charging far too quickly, and it almost seemed like every second push you could block out the entire point.
So Skyfire will be taking to the streets here on Eichenwalde to push on through. They are going to be doing some cheeky strats here. They've got a bit of a dive comp though, so realistically they're going to be wanting to push straight on through, not just push but jump on through. Masterminds were not expecting that, and we've already got a scattered brawl happening. Stolz goes down. They have lost Hikari and CKM though. Masterminds doing a nice job of at least getting 2 kills in their favor to turn this into a 5v4 in their favor here on the point. Taken now having to, I guess, disengage Render. How have they not killed him yet? Finally, Jordan, thank you.
Yeah, and he just wanting to die as quick as possible so that he can get that respawn and go back in with his team, and no ult on either side as of yet, so once again we're going to see an ultless fight, and Skyfire just really hoping they can get a stronger fight going in, as they are going to go aggressive.
Yeah, and that was a minute off the clock already. Dag's taking down Hikari, but he does fall in the process to CKM, so it's a tank for a DPS, and make that 2 because CKM's not done. He's got 3, finally waking up and coming to the party, CKM. But Jordan and Twiggy, the frontline tanks for Masterminds, getting the job done of at least cleaning up for their team. Masterminds not out of this fight yet. They're going to be able to take down CKM, but he takes down Twiggy. Dags is back to try and save the day, but so is Hikari, and this fight is well, pretty much still going all the way. Soundwaves with that pulse bomb on the Dags takes him down, and it looks like Skyfire have got the numbers to overwhelm this point and take it in their favor.
Yeah, and Stoltz trying to come in late, but it looks like he's going to be shut down very quickly by Render. That's going to be Skyfire capturing this point, as I don't think Masterminds will try for a recontest. Instead, I think they'll just try and get as many people on that high ground as possible before Skyfire come through. And this is a good start from Skyfire. 4 minutes 40 to get the second checkpoint, but it is a tough one to get.
Still, realistically though, Masterminds held off for 2 minutes on that first point. That's about par for the course, you'd say. Anything lower than that and you're doing pretty well. So 2 minutes, not a bad effort there from Masterminds. Held on, especially while on that first push, and then the second one sort of just dragged out for a little while, but they were able to soak up a bit of the time. 4 minutes and 15 seconds now, pushing on through the gate here into the second phase of Eichenwalde, and it's Masterminds deciding to turn the fight around. They're looking for Taken, but the Graviton Surge just caught them off guard. No, it's going to be all stops! Oh my goodness, the triple kill! It was actually Jordan's grab, and now Twiggy takes down CKM. It is going to be a short walk back for Skyfire, though. That's the only consolation prize in their favor. The payload does stop.
Yeah, and nice just using a few ultimates. Mastermind still with the 2 that they need. We could once again see a nano boost. And the Earth Shatter, which we've seen be so impactful from either side. And it's really an opportunity. But it looks like they're going to go aggressive, try and get them off of that high ground.
Yeah, it's going to be Render as well as Hikari jumping up on top. They've lost Twiggy already. Mastermind's taken. It was the person getting that kill. And it is now a battle on top of the payload. Everyone is just trying to kill everyone. Soundwaves was able to take down Aaron though. And it is Jordan in a really bad position with that Discord orb on him as well. He's just going to fall to the grave and pretty much, I guess, concede to that fight. Skyfire taking it out. And with 3 minutes and 9 seconds on the scoreboard, they are looking well and truly in command here on Eichenwalde. And we could be going to that third game.
Yeah, but this is the tricky part. They're going to have to come up against the full team of Masterminds to try and cap the second point. They have the ults.
Self-destruct going right into that backline. Jordan was able to pop his barrier and keep it alive, but CKM takes him down anyway. Doesn't need any help from the self-destruct, and it is still Skyfire absolutely doing work right now. Stoltz had used his Dragon Blade in that fight, but got nothing for it. Twiggy just going to fall to the grave, and it will be the second point capture coming the way of Skyfire. They're going to have oodles amounts of time coming into the cast.
Yep, 4 minutes to cap this last point. If I remember correctly, Masterminds was already in overtime at this point. So not the best sign for Masterminds. They have to defend 55 meters for almost 4 minutes, and that's going to be really tricky. They do have a lot of ults though, which they should be able to cycle for a few fights.
Yeah, there's one of them, the Earth Shadow, as well as that Nano Boost, just trying to send the boys from Team Skyfire back to the spawn, and they should be able to. They're getting the kills with that double kill from the Nano Boost. A couple of ults used though for Masterminds, 3 minutes and 25 seconds that will at least try and stagger Skyfire ever so slightly and force them to come back from spawn. Soundwaves though does have his tactical visor, but Cantus is a long way away from that Nano Boost.
Yeah, the usage of 3 ultimates Masterminds could be a bit of a trouble, because that does mean they're only going to have 3 for this next fight, and if they have to use them all once again, they're going to be in trouble for the fight after. That's the advantage of all of this team, all this time, for Skyfire.
Jordan does have the Graviton Surge, and he lets it rip. Hikari is caught in it with Soundwaves and Render, but he's going to get booped out of it anyway. Stoltz has gone down, so they got absolutely nothing from that Graviton Surge in the end. Aaron does get the final killing blow onto Hikari. Twiggy with the Bionic Grenade in his face is going to have to wait and heal, and now it is looking like it is still Skyfire with the kills, but Masterminds are holding the point, and that's the main thing that matters. Dex gets the kill that's taken. Stoltz onto CKM. Render can't to Soundwaves. Can they do anything? Soundwaves with the tactical visor takes down Dex and Aaron, and he's going to get this payload moving for Team Skyfire.
Yeah, and that quick fight win was exactly what they needed. They're going to have to come up against some old slow, and so Masterminds really want to get in and contest because they may well be able to win the next fight.
And it's so close to this resting place of Masterminds' push. 2 minutes on the clock. The self-destruct will be able to get them away from the payload for a short amount of time. Jordan goes down to Soundwave. CKM getting the kill back. Twiggy, he's got the Earth Shatter, but there's no real damage to back him up. Stoltz is in the backline trying to take down the supports. He did take down Cantus. In fact, so he took down Soundwaves. Now he's trying to take down Cantus. Couldn't get the killing blow though. Cantus too good, too strong, and it's Skyfire who are looking too good at the moment. The Bionic Grenade from Aaron will land onto 3 or 4 of them, but there's really no damage coming out from Masterminds. Degs with that tactical visor, nano boost, no one on the point, and really you got to have someone on the point. It is now going to the 3rd game on the Volskaya Industries. Skyfire, take this one out, GyMar.
Yeah, really nice showing from them. They looked so dominant in their push, and as a result, they're looking good going into Volskaya, but Volskaya, who knows what will happen.
Heading into Volskaya, but before we do that, we'll throw it over to the analyst desk. EJ will lead through with the analysts.
Alrighty, as we just watched the play of the match here, and it is Cantus, Genome and Doctor. We're locked up at 1-1 here going into Volskaya. Now, Eichenwalde, Doctor, break it down. How did it go?
One thing I noticed is it was a lot of Skyfire reacting a lot better to the resurrections that came out from Aaron there. They always had a Kari there with that Earth Shadow to clean up, and that happened twice in that second stage there, which got him a lot more delay off there. And then going on to that last point, doing a really good job just stopping them out, and that just put Skyfire in a really good position to just go in, and they started trade ultimates really efficiently. They denied a lot of Stoltz's Dragon Blades with the Transcendence through that second stage, and it was a lot of play between Hikari there as well, just doing a great job with that Reinhardt. Interesting to see them pull out that. They rotated through quite a few supports there from Cantus. He went through the Zen, he went through the Mercy, and he went through the Anna there at the end. And just having that boost right at the end, really good choices as well. When he decided to pull that Zenyatta out, really good timing because it won them one of the really key fights there.
And Genome, who were the players who stood out for you in that particular round?
Well, Degs was crazy on that Pharaoh at the start.
Yeah.
He absolutely slaughtered CKM in the Pharaoh versus Pharaoh wars. But what's really interesting for me is coming into Volskaya Industries. Now, if we cast our minds all the way back to the qualifiers before this Division 1 even started, it's how we sorted who were the top 8 teams who got into it. Masterminds actually won a lot of games on 2 CP maps. They were a team that took a lot of surprising wins off big names like Tempo Storm, and a lot of those really top tier teams. Masterminds were getting those wins on 2 CP maps. So the fact that they've allowed one to slip through the cracks here in the map veto, I think, could be a bit of a mistake by Skyfire. And I think just going off purely off the map, I'm going to favor Masterminds coming into Volskaya Industries.
Alrighty, we've got the players in. We've got the map ready to go. We're going to throw back to ZeNox. We are locked at 1-1 on the Zowie scoreboard here. Losers elimination match. ZeNox, take us away for Volskaya Industries.
Thank you very much, EJ, as well as the analyst crew. We are just about to get into Volskaya Industries, just waiting for the ready-up check. GyMar, very interesting map choice, as we alluded to before, to decide which team goes through and which team goes out. It's an interesting decision.
It's definitely not a map I would want to be on with the finals on the line, and just waiting on Masterminds to ready up. And as was said by Genome, Masterminds on Volskaya are scary because that is a map which they are known for getting wins on, and for Skyfire, you know, it could be tough.
It could be tough indeed, and I guess it could go either way, though, because we have seen these two teams pretty much locked in, that they're quite even. And from the maps we've seen, it's gone one way to Masterminds, then one way to Skyfire as well. But Masterminds actually beating Tempo Storm and Volskaya could give them the edge, GyMar.
Yeah, and they've shown that they can do it. If I remember correctly, that game against Tempo was a very close game, and that's how these two CPs can often go. They go to these close games where you end up with more than one push through with Time Bank that is now available. 2CP was a very poor mode with the stopwatch format. With Time Bank, it's become a lot more interesting as you see who can get the most pushes through rather than the fastest.
So we're finally into game. It's the third game of this best of 3 losers bracket series. Of course, the loser of this game is out of the tournament, and the winner will move on through and decide. So we'll wait for the deciding game between the two winners to see who they verse next. Last prediction, GyMar. If you had to pick someone and you had a gun to your head, who would you pick?
I think I have to pick Masterminds. With their history on this map, you've got to expect them to take it, but I do not expect this to be easy.
I don't think it'll be easy either. Volskaya obviously has up its sleeve. Most 2CPs do, in fact. This one is, it's very momentum based. If you can get that first point relatively quick, you've got a lot of time. But even then, realistically, if that second point, you've got to have momentum going into that one. Otherwise, you could just be there for minutes.
Yeah, and that's true. And we have seen before, if a team doesn't manage to carry momentum into the second point, sometimes they can get holed out fully, even with a first point take, because it's just that momentum based. And that's kind of tricky for teams to work around, because you have to be doing it well. And for defensive teams, they've got to make sure they're resetting smart, because if they don't reset correctly, they could end up with only 2 people to defend against a full assault.
Well, so far today in the Division 1 Finals here games, that every single game has gone to the third map. We've had 2-1 results so far every single round. A stark contrast of Div 2, as we're going to be seeing Masterminds defending first. They've got the job in their hands, and they're going with the 3 tanks as well. Degs on that Roadhog. Yeah, he's going to need to get a lot of picks.
Yeah, and that is the nature of Roadhog. If you get a pick, the Roadhog pick is a brilliant one. But if you can't manage to find one of those hooks, your team gets into real trouble, as it's not the best hero choice for other things.
So it's going to be Skyfire pushing on through, and it's going to be an early kill onto our start. Render does lose his mech though, then hooked by Degs and killed. Twiggy with the charge is going to miss, then gets taken down by Hikari. The Winston doing a lot of work. Stoltz has got so much damage on him, and they are just focusing so hard right now. Team Skyfire getting the kills, Death falling forward, CKM with 3, and that is a very early point capture on a 2CP map. Masterminds will be sweating.
Yeah, and that was such great target choosing from the team of Skyfire. They would just pick one, get a kill, pick the next, get a kill, and working together to get those kills meant that they very swiftly won that fight with few losses, and that's what you need. You want as much damage done so that you can get as many ults spread across the board, and they already have 2 coming into the next fight, and it could be 3 with Cantus's Transcendence.
6 minutes and 30 seconds pushing on through for Skyfire. It's a long time to wait for Master. Skyfire don't want to wait any longer, and they're already pushing straight onto this point, and now the Pulse Bomb comes out. Oh my! Gets the double kill. Pulse Bomb. He came from nowhere. It's a team wipe. Only Degs alive. He can't stop this one. I did not see this one coming at all, GyMar, but this could be over before it even started.
And now we get to see how well Masterminds can delay, as Stoltz comes in with the Tracer and RN comes in, but it does look like Skyfire is doing well, especially with that Transcendence.
Cantus popping that Transcendence. The self-destruct does come out. Can it land? It does. Takes down Bim. They've still got some on the point though. Jordan is getting out the stall phase early with the May. Goes down. They're all going down. And what else is going down? Well, it's the point, and it is going to be contested at the last second by Twiggy, Stoltz, and Aaron. Ever so close. 5 minutes and 40 seconds. Their kills are still going the way of Skyfire. No real kills coming out for Masterminds whatsoever. They are just in stall mode, and it is over. 5 minutes and 31 seconds. GyMar, what did we just see?
We just saw 2CP. That's what we saw. Such a momentum-based map, and they just pushed through so fast. I think to get that sort of time, you need a minute 30 time, or it might be 2 minutes 30. But either way, that is a very swift way to take it. out, and you've got to wonder, has Skyfire maybe been practicing Volskaya?
And this is kind of where, it comes back down to, I guess, draft map choices. Most teams usually ban out 2CP rather early, even earlier than, I guess, King of the Hill. It's usually King of the Hill that might slip through to the third game, GyMar, and you kind of wonder, I guess, did Masterminds just try to roll the dice a little bit and go for a bit of luck there? King of the Hills aren't that great, and Skyfire, though, are absolutely loving this, and you have to wonder, have Masterminds just dropped their heads a little bit because of this?
But you can't count them out yet. The nature of 2CP means this next half could be another 1 minute 30 half, and that's just how it works. We see teams run through so swiftly, and you never know, it may happen for Masterminds as well. It all comes down to that crucial first fight, which is what allowed Skyfire to have so much momentum in the first place. If Masterminds can get a good first fight, they can get a swift time, but if Skyfire win this first fight, surely this map is theirs.
Bastion is coming out for CKM, hiding behind the shield of Hikari. This is sort of one of those situations where it's either going to work really, really well, or it's just not going to work at all, and we could actually see Masterminds take the point rather early on, and depending on how they deal with this setup, do you think this could work? I feel like potentially this could actually work for Skyfire.
I think whether it works will depend on the hero choices coming out for Masterminds, and Twiggy on that D.Va could be what they need, because you need something like a D.Va to stop the Bastion from being effective, but with that damage boost and the Reinhardt shield, you need a flanker as well to try and stop some of this, because they're working as a team to try and stop them. Nice relocation as soon as they see the direction Masterminds want to come through. They want to make sure they're on the back of this point, and they've allowed that. Masterminds are going to have to flank all the way around.
Good grouping up from both teams here. Very high quality play because they're all grouped up. CKM picking up Bim though, and that's all they really need to do. That one kill is going to make it extremely hard to sort of get in there. The bionic grenade onto Tanks. Oh my goodness, CKM goes down. What a bionic grenade from Aaron, able to land that onto CKM. Masterminds are onto the point, and they could just about turn this into their favor. Bim is going to be back shortly, but they've lost Dags, and they really needed him.
Yeah, Masterminds are looking so split. Yes, they did manage to get the pick onto the Bastion, but they're so split up, they're having trouble focusing down a target, especially with the amount of healing coming out of both Taken and Cantus. But it does look like Mastermind's turning it around.
Yeah, they are starting to get the kills. They've got to make sure they take down Taken, who's on that Mercy. He's almost got the res, but he falls down. Bim gets himself a double kill. Hikari's charge is desperate. Not going to work. CKM is back. Raining terror, but Twiggy's in his face. Dags, the double, triple kill. It's the Dags show. It's not over just yet, and that is a decent capture time for Masterminds GC. They got 6.5 minutes up their sleeve. If they could get this in within a minute, GyMar, I don't know what is real anymore.
Yeah, and they may well be able to do that. And now that CKM has switched to that Mei, but never underestimate CKM on that Mei. I would call him one of the best Meis in the region, and he's showing he wants to delay this. He doesn't mind so much if they capture, but he's saying they're not going to beat our time, and it looks like they may have trouble.
Masterminds can't stay at too much. They have to go in. They can't hesitate. The self-destruct comes out, lands on the Bim. They've lost Jordan as well. Double kill for Dex with that Nano Dragon Blade in his pocket, but a couple of ults coming out from Masterminds might not just be enough in the end. Stoltz was able to kill CKM. Where's the revive? Hasn't come out yet, and now Taken has got it in his pocket if he so wishes to use it. I don't feel like he will need to, and I feel like Skyfire should be able to get back. No, he's going to have to force the revive out because Rendo went down, and it is going to actually now make Masterminds go back and try again.
And already it looks like Masterminds are going to have a worse time as the time back now ticks below that of Skyfire, and now we get into a tough situation for them as they've now got to come in without momentum, coming up against a Nano Boost and an Earth Shatter. Hikari's Earth Shatter's in turn 5.
Well, that could cause a lot of momentum if this self-destruct were to have worked. The shield is going to take a lot of damage nonetheless. Now it's going to be the Earth Shatter as well. CKM gets the kill on the Jordan. All the kills still going the way of Team Skyfire, defensively holding out so far. They did lose Hikari. Now they've lost Cantus though. Skull's getting some damage in onto Skyfire. Degs as well, trying to get some damage. And now Bim goes down to Soundwaves. All of this fight is happening on the point. Soundwaves with a great tactical visor, getting those kills as well as the damage. And it is still another hold for Skyfire, and all these holds is just soaking up time for their next push.
And this is where 2CP gets scary, because now that there is no momentum for the attackers, the defenders now get to play and choke heavy on a choke heavy point. no matter which way that Masterminds decide to come through, they have to come into the ultimates, including CKM's Blizzard, which could be so dangerous.
You kind of feel like it comes down to sort of ult management at this stage. However, these two teams can hold their ultimates, use them at the right times, and get full execution out of them. Dex has got that Dragon Blade, but I don't think he needs to use it this fight. They need to bait out some of the ultimates from Team Skyfire. CKM with that Blizzard, Cantus with the Nano Boost himself. They will take down CKM, though. That's a nice start, all without the Dragon Blade so far. Soundwaves is going to get that Nano Boost, but Dex, he popped the Dragon Blade anyway, gets taken down by Soundwaves, and this is what I'm talking about, GyMar. He did not need to use that Dragon Blade. Maybe just let the ults come out from Skyfire, come back and push again.
But it may have worked for Mastermind, but the Blizzard does come out. That's going to mean the point will be in the control of Skyfire and they can regroup.
They are going to get that Blizzard to come out as well. All the kills still coming out. Soundwave's doing a great job so far on this Soldier. And the point hold coming out from Skyfire here on the second point is much better. And this is sort of the case, I guess, with this second point. If you don't get it in the first push or two, it is extremely hard to get the momentum to push on through.
Yeah, but what Masterminds did great that fight is they managed to bait out quite a few ultimates from Skyfire. And so Skyfire won't have too many, but it does look like they will have 3 against the likely 5 of Mastermind. So both teams will have to use their ults effectively, because if you don't use them effectively, you could end up getting wiped by the other team.
3 minutes on the clock for Masterminds to keep pushing on through. They're going to have 5 ultimates coming in now. The Graviton Surge is going to lock some of them up. They're breaking it down, though. Will we take it? It's going to be the Tactical Visor from Soundwaves. 3 kills from Soundwaves. Does eventually go down to Dex with that Reflect doing a nice job, but does not matter. Mission accomplished once again for Team Skyfire, using just 2 ults.
And this gets to the point where it stops even being about the ult management, because Masterminds have just wasted so much time trying to get rid of the ults of Skyfire. And yes, they have 3 ults coming into this, but even if they capture the point here, they're at a 3-minute disadvantage.
Yeah, and either way, they are going to have 5.5 minutes to try and defend, even if they are to capture this. What a bionic grenade to kick things off. The Skyfire Dex with the Nano Blade takes down Cantus, and now there is no revive. That he is not there anymore. No mercy. Dex with a triple kill. Nice job from him. They got to get the point. 2 minutes left. Hikari has to go down, as well as CKM, and he does have the Blitz available if he so wishes to use it, and he does. Pops it down. Jordan's got to be able to get away with the barrier, but Dex not so lucky. He gets barriered by Jordan. It's not going to be enough, and all these ultimates from Mastermind won't be enough to secure them the point so easily. Bim does get a kill on the Kansas, but Jordan is not long for this world. Stoltz does get the kill on the Soundwaves, but again, they're getting kills, but they're dying ever so quickly.
Yeah, Skyfire is doing such a great job in these recontest delay type situations with the Diva, with the Mei, and they just come in and they stay alive. We're seeing CK make great use of the ice block, and it's working so far. Only 1:20 left for Masterminds to cap the point.
And they'll be very lucky even if they can get this point whatsoever. With 1 minute and 10 seconds, they're still going to be completely behind Skyfire. It's going all the way of Skyfire. They're loving this 2CP. They're loving Volskaya. And you got to feel a little bit for Masterminds right now. They had, you know, the last game, really, they could have done a bit better. They're just, the map draft has come back to haunt them.
Yeah, and map draft seems to be so important, as the other team can ban out quite a few maps in a best of 3, and you've got to make sure that your bans are good, and it appears that Volskaya not the bastion for Masterminds that we thought it was.
Down to 35 seconds on the zero score. Masterminds have got to do or die right now. I cannot see them coming back from here. Sound barrier does come out from Taker. Now the nano boost on the Soundwaves. Dags trying to do everything he can, but he can't take down Soundwaves, who's been absolutely chaotic so far in this second point hold. And it is again another team wipe. This again going in favor of Team Skyfire. 15 seconds left. Skyfire are going to push on out now.
And the big difference here is, for once, Skyfire do actually have the ultimate advantage, unless Masterminds can delay long enough for their ultimates to come up. But they've got to come in right now, which means they won't have their ultimates in time, and this is a real moment of trouble for Masterminds.
Well, they can't even get onto the point. They're self-destruct. The Blizzard does it all. It says it all. The Earth Shadow from Hikari just to make sure. But it will be Team Skyfire showing what they're made of, heading on through. That's it for Masterminds. They are out of the Division 1 tournament. They will take home $480 and some XSplit licenses to them. But in the end, Skyfire move on through, GyMar.
and a great job of it too. Once again, another 2-1. Teams are just so close to these finals.
In the end, Skyfire take this one out. I'm going to throw it over to the analyst desk to discuss this. EJ, take it away.
Thank you very much, guys, and thanks for a great cast there from ZeNox and GyMar. Doctor and Genome, we've got our first elimination of the day in Mastermind. Skyfire advanced on in the losers bracket. Aftermind Tempo Storm coming up next, though, but we'll get the captains in if we can. If someone just wants to type that in team chat to invite the captains in, we'll bring them in and have a quick chat with them. Genome, we'll start off with yourself, man. Volskaya Industries. Wow, Skyfire is strong.
Yeah, we expected Masterminds to be the ones who knew that map back to front, but it looks like Skyfire, maybe that's a 2CP map. In that one in particular, I'm not sure that they've practiced a lot. Maybe that's one of the reasons they let it get through the draft. Maybe they knew that Masterminds considered themselves to be strong on that, but they thought they were stronger. So, well played to them, and good work on the drafting, because I feel like that's what it came down to a lot there. Sad to see the Bastion strat not quite work out so well at the start. It was a really good anti-grenade that dealt with them, and they often say how well a Bastion strat works almost entirely depends on how good the opposition's Genji is, and Degs, as we know, one of the best Genjis in the scene, and he finished that off there.
Now, we're joined by some representatives of the team. We've got Render, and I have no idea who Triple Dot is. Jordan. Jordan's coming to join us as well. First of all, we'll start with Render. Congratulations on the win and staying alive in Division 1 playoffs.
Thank you.
And commiserations to you, Jordan. Knocked out now from Division 1 finals, but you take home some cash and some XSplit licenses. And thank you for the great games all season, and especially today.
Oh, yeah. Cheers, mate.
Now, Render, how did you actually find that match?
After losing a close game after mine, we're a bit tense in this map. And that, the King's Row game was so hectic. It was really rough. But I feel like we're just learning, even now, we're just learning the meta more and more. I'm still learning to Diva. I'm, progressively getting better at it over the day. All of us are just learning more. So it was rough, but we got there in the end.
And Jordan, we're all tipping Mastermind to have such a strong game on Volskaya with your previous history on it. Were you expecting Skyfire to show such a strong showing on that map?
Yeah, we scribbed Skyfire on Volskaya yesterday, and personally, I think Render's Diva fucked us really hard. I definitely did not enjoy that. I just also like to give a shout out to the Tunnel Snakes for helping us scrim this morning. That was really fun.
Indeed, shout out to them. Doctor, you got any questions for the two captains?
Basically for Jordan mainly, off the back of coming off such a strong performance from Tempo Storm, was there anything like a bit of fatigue coming off that? You put a lot of effort into that previous game. Do you think that could have affected this game at all? Or did you just ride that momentum through? Unfortunately, it's not coming out on the top in the end.
I definitely think the Tempo game did take a toll on us, to be completely honest. But in the end, Skyfire were the better team today, and they're going through. Good luck to them.
All right, Genome, anything you want to ask the captains before we move on to the next match?
What did you think about the May pick? It obviously worked out there in the end for CKM, but with the Blizzard nerf where it's coming out a lot less often, and obviously that's one of the big selling points of May is that she's able to stall out those last points. So Render, what did you guys think of how the May pick is working out in this new meta?
She might not be like a McCree where you just pick him all the time back in the old meta, but he still has all the tools. She has all the tools, and her ult's really good. But just on 2CP, especially last point, she's just so good. Even though Blizzard ult got nerfed, it still comes up every second fight generally if you hit enough shots, which is more consistent with everyone else's ults. So in a correct role when you want to run her, she's still really good. And in the hands of a good player, it's just really annoying.
And CKM is definitely one of those good players. Jordan, what did you think about Twiggy's performance on the Reinhardt today? He obviously went head-to-head with Hikari, and both of them were getting a lot of Earth Shatters. What did you think as, this new pickup to your team?
He isn't actually a pickup. We're just going through tanks at the moment, just trialing. I do think he did well. Definitely considering the circumstances, considering that we played with KS1 for the past 2 days. I definitely think he did well to pretty much just come to the team and, synergize with us.
He joined at the right time to get a payday on finals day, though. Wow.
Yeah, I can't comment on that.
All right, Render and Jordan, thank you both very much for joining us. Jordan, we say farewell to Masterminds for the Division 1 Spring Series. Render, we'll see you taking on the loser of Temper and Aftermind a bit later on in today. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back here on GameStar TV 1 very shortly with Aftermind versus a Tempo Storm semi-final. Huge shout out to our sponsors, of course, our premier sponsors, Zowie, Strive for Perfection, Split Media Labs, we use their products, XSplit to broadcast our matches, Challenge to manage our matches, and we all hang out over at playerme.com, or player.me, I should say, and Plantronics, the official headset sponsor of GameStar. We'll be right back after this break, semi-final from the winner's bracket.